Hi you guys, my name is Olivia. I'm a stay-at-home homeschool mama to 2 kiddos. I have a 9-year-old son, he's gonna be 10 in just a couple weeks, and a 5-year-old daughter. I share homeschooling things and some lifestyle things, and I have been gone for a significant amount of time. It's been a couple of months. Yeah, I'm gonna just hop into why. I'm just about 7 months pregnant, and this is my third baby. I'm 31, and things are just different from when I was 21 and 25, having my other kiddos. And lifestyle is just different for sure also. I have been really lethargic and tired this time around. I'm sure my autoimmune disease plays into that as well. Unfortunately, I've had a flare since becoming pregnant. I got like the big bad C in January of this year, and that flared me a little bit just because my immune system went down so drastically. And then it definitely took me a couple of months to just feel like completely recuperated and back to normal self, and as if I was able to take on everything that I had previously been able to take on and do it in the same complete it in the same way. And then I got pregnant, in May, and the whole first trimester was so much, like I was so wiped out. I literally felt like I was narcoleptic. Like at any moment I would just keel over and like snooze. That was challenging, and I had a lot of food aversions and I felt super nauseous, whereas I didn't get those with my other two. I did feel somewhat nauseous in my first couple of months with both of my first two children, but it was nothing like this. I thankfully, again, never actually got sick. There were definitely times when I felt like I just wished that I could so I could get some relief from how much nausea I have, but I have a really awful gag reflex. Sorry if that word is like a trigger situation for people, but I have a really bad reflex where like I do not vomit easily at all. And I had a couple girlfriends who said like, you know, when I was really nauseous and I would finally just kind of, this fly has not been here or near me all day, and all of a sudden I'm doing this video and he just wants to be around the camera. So this is cool. I had a couple of girlfriends who said that they were really similar and that they didn't actually physically get sick often, but the couple times that they did, it really did make them feel a little bit better from like how heavy the nausea was. And so this time around I was just kind of like, maybe it'll just come up and it'll feel better, but it never did. So anyway, went through that for quite a while, and then I had like nausea and food aversion until about 20 weeks. And when my exhaustion didn't go away until about 20 weeks, and because I have a history of autoimmune disease, I'm seeing a clinic of midwives this time around, and they suggested also, and I asked, you know, it's just something I'm on top of because I know my body and I know the way it is. And I had said, you know, I definitely want to get my blood drawn and check for antibodies and different levels and markers this time around, because when I was seeing some different OBs in a OBGYN pregnancy clinic, they never pulled for those, even though I said like, I have an autoimmune disease, this is what I deal with, that kind of thing. And they never were worried about what my levels were during pregnancy, because they said that they're gonna like go up and down no matter what, so to just stay on my medication. Anyway, that was a really frustrating experience. Anyway, so my midwives have been pulling, I've been pulling, and we've really been trying to keep it good, but something that I was getting already with this, like with my autoimmune disease, I experience like being lethargic and brain fog, and so having baby brain and being wiped from pregnancy on top of it is just this compilation of exhaust that has really been difficult to come to terms with and like manage. On top of it being fall now, So we're getting less sunshine. Baby is due early February, and I was a couple weeks early with both of my first kiddos. I have no idea if it's going to be the same way this time. Not having a whole lot of sunshine up here in these northern states has been rough. And my autoimmune disease and the pregnancy, it just is kind of like, it is taking me everything I can to get through the day and try not to affect my family and my everyday life as much as I can. I totally thought it would not be a big deal. First of all, everything is finally opened up for the most part in Washington State from when everything was closed down for a couple of years. It definitely put kind of like a stickler in, because my youngest was 3 when everything shut down. She had her 3rd birthday in March of 2020. And yeah, everything's been crazy since then. So she finally got to the age where she has interests now and she wants to participate and be part of different activities, and I would like to explore those for her. And so we signed up this fall for a couple of different things, and I realized I literally leave the house every single day during the week. And one, I'm a major introvert, and I do everything I can for my kiddos to push myself out of those feelings and needing to stay home. I'm not saying like I don't protect my peace or I say no to a lot of things, but I definitely am trying not to let that affect my family and their lives and their interests, because nobody else in my house is an introvert. Everyone would love to go out and do all the things all the time. So on Mondays, one of my kiddos has a dance class. On Tuesdays, one of my kids has a martial arts class. Wednesdays, they both go to a really big kids discipleship sort of group every Wednesday. And Thursdays, one of my kids has a music lesson. And every other Friday, we're part of our local Wild and Free outdoor co-op chapter for homeschooling kiddos. And so every other Friday, we are part of that, except this year my group has been expanding really far and it is not as local as I would like it to be. I live west of the Puget Sound, so I don't live on the same side as like Seattle or even like Tacoma, where Tacoma's at like the south of the Puget Sound. I live west of the Puget Sound, and I understand why we travel, so that we could kind of get out of our area and be able to experience different things, but it is still tricky to try to participate in this and driving for a long time when I'm not feeling great. So anyway, yeah, that's what we've been doing, and it's been busy, busy, busy. On top of that, this is my 5-year-old's official kindergarten year, like age-wise, if you're following age sort of thing, and it's my 10-year-old's 4th grade year. So 4th grade, we've really stepped up some of the things that we are doing in school, specifically writing. I'm gonna hop into the homeschool update right now just because I'm losing light. It gets dark everywhere right in the fall in the northern hemisphere. Specifically, if you live really north, like half of your day is darkness. So I'm losing the light. I'm trying to update. Okay, we have been doing, what is this called? It's called, what is it called? IEW. We've been doing IEW's 1A structure and style. This takes up a huge chunk of our homeschool days, a huge chunk. This is independent. I have the videos and my son just plugs into the portable DVD player wherever he feels comfortable and does the videos for the first half of the week, for the first half of the lesson. And then after the videos, you also have a writing portion that goes with it, and then you complete those writing portions throughout the rest of the week or your school days. I try really hard to stick to 4-day-a-week school days because I feel like it just really works for our family. And we usually have like an art day or a catch-up day at the end of the week. Sometimes we will put in 5 days a week, especially if I feel like We super lacked on stuff. I am not someone that thinks that more is better, but even for us and our smaller amount of lessons that I try to accomplish every day for my kids, there's still a level of like, we got to get some things done, right, to get through. I try by the end of the school year to be done with about 75% of a curriculum. If the curriculum just didn't work for us, I don't stick with it, but for a subject, I try to accomplish like 75% of the school year of that subject. Anyway, this definitely takes a good amount of time. I'm not saying it's not worth it, and I don't know how other families use this and incorporate this, but writing was definitely something I outsourced for a reason. So I got this. I mean, like, so many people use this. There's so many videos out there on this. I'd be happy to do one about how we feel and how we use it. Totally, if you guys want that, let me know down below. He was already a reluctant, structured writer. Like, he just comes out with like a comic strip or like a mini story or something out of his head, and he can jot it down so quickly and so fast, and that's great. But when I ask him to do an assignment for writing, it's not his favorite thing to do, and I get it. And so already this was not his favorite subject. He asked me, do these kids still get together? Like, where do they do this? Because the instructor, Andrew Pudua, he was like, the teacher is so funny and nice. Like, can I go to that classroom and do it in person? I was like, oh, buddy, these were filmed a couple of years ago. And plus, I'm sure we don't live anywhere near there. So I was like, no, you can't. So I'm not saying he doesn't like it. I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm saying the videos are already between 20 minutes to 40 minutes, depending on the day and the week. And we just hit week 10 on top of the writing that they have to do on top of that. That's a long time for a subject in our household to take. So I'm sure if I woke up earlier and I started things off earlier, we could get more done. But also, it's a long day for kids to spend on that much. His writing is night and day different. Like, the amount of things and the detail that he can put into a piece of writing that they ask him to complete in this is insane. And so I know the approach works, and he doesn't despise it. He's not like, oh, I don't want to do writing right now. Like, it's never a fight. I'm just saying it takes a long time. So then when in my head, I'm like, okay, so I would like us to accomplish this, 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 and this today. Sometimes the this, and this turns into just this and this, or just this, because it's a lot. We are going into week 5. There are 20 weeks, like 23 weeks. I don't think I'm going to complete this whole thing this year with him, because technically there's 24 weeks if you're going to do the timed essay at the end of the course. I'm not going to do this whole thing with him this year. I'm going to cut this in half as soon as we get to maybe through week 11, because we have not been doing any structured literature right now. That does not mean there's not reading in this house or anything else. I just feel as if it would be a lot on top of writing, because there is already some grammar going into that and using different sorts of elements in the writing. Like, it's a very full, comprehensive writing program. But doing literature on top of trying to fit everything else in would be a lot. So I think once January hits, we just will not be doing this writing, and then we'll jump into it after we've completed another half year of writing. Again, we school year round, so we take breaks when we feel like it and when it fits. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know though. I'll come back and update on that. So we do history one week and science the other week. We're still working through the wonders of the animal kingdom. This is year 3. Again, I have a whole video on Blossom and Root about how it doesn't necessarily mean this is just for 3rd graders, because it's year 3. There's just a different topic for each year, and there's ways that you can make this a heavier or a fuller curriculum based off of what you are wanting to give your kiddo. The split is really working for us, and especially because we do the nature study, which I also have a video on that I will link down below. Especially since we're doing nature study every week, the kids get science no matter what. But we are still loving Blossom and Root moving up for science, moving through it slowly. For history, we are still moving through our Star Spangled Story. I don't know if I'm gonna get through the second book of this year, even though I was hoping to, though I would like to. But again, it's a lot of reading, and we already do a lot of reading in so many of our other subjects. If you don't have such a full load, I think that it's a wonderful curriculum. The Knotgrass, our Star Spangled Story curriculum for history. It's really approachable for so many different ages. I have a video where I reviewed that as well. What we've really been sticking to are the Knotgrass has a optional literature package, and I did buy most of those books. I'm pretty sure this was his last 3rd grade year, so I can't remember exactly how many of those books we purchased, but we're still getting through those depending on the units that we're reading through in there. And then I also bought all of the books for the accompaniment literature for the American history through Memoria Press. Love these. It's like a guided reading guide for books. So there are fiction books and nonfiction books. He just got done with Freedom Crossing from the literature package for our Star Spangled Story. So I go one-on-one. So once he finishes one of those books, we hop into one of these books. And this is supposed to be a Meet Benjamin Franklin book. And this one is less like a story. This is meant to be like kind of an intro to a biography, but for appropriate kiddo age. It still has pretty big font, and there's some pictures here and there. So yeah, he's gonna hop into this. So that's what we're doing for history, and that's also what we're doing for science, on top of using Treehouse Schoolhouse's nature study. I love that program. It's so beautiful. We're still incorporating it this year. You can also find a video for that on my page. So those are core subjects. There are lots of mini subjects that we go into during the week, and I can do a fuller recap of those if you guys are wanting to know that stuff, like vocabulary and geography and logic and that sort of thing. All right, for my daughter, we've got like maybe a third left of the Logic of English Foundations phonics program for her. This is level B. She's doing great. This is still something I really, really love. She's reading fantastically. I love it because it teaches all of the sounds for each of the letters, because there's so many of them that make so many different sounds. So you learn those all first before you go into reading, and it's been really great. There's spelling in here as well. So yeah, chugging through this. I have plans to do a video on how we do lessons through here. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know, and I'll try to get it done quicker than in my head when I'm thinking I could probably approach it. So if that's something you're interested in seeing, how we utilize Logic of English for her kindergarten year, let me know. Okay, for math, you know what? We're just sticking right now to the Good and the Beautiful's kindergarten math. This is not what I had intended to use for her kindergarten year. I thought that we were just going to kind of touch on this, and then as soon as the other curriculum came in, we were going to move to it. She has like 30 lessons left in this, and that's all. These take 15 minutes, and she's doing great, and I really think that I don't want to bounce around too much with math unless it's something that's not working for my kid. I don't want to bounce around too much, especially when it comes to math, because I don't feel like as if you can spend too much time on the foundations. So I'm gonna get through this and make sure we don't miss anything of what technically you're supposed to hit in kindergarten, and then I'm gonna move her on to her first grade curriculum that I had purchased for her. Even though everything in here right now is easy for her, she hasn't come up to any like blocks or like okay, well, let's take another minute to, or another lesson or a few lessons or what have you on going through this sort of thing, anything she comes in here, but I'm not gonna skip her ahead. All right, finally, there's also some other little things that we do for her that, again, in like the, what was I thinking, like the supplementary subjects or what have you, that I could chat about those if you guys are interested in that. Let me know, but this is another part of her core that we work through. It is the Memoria Press kindergarten. This is kindergarten enrichment. This is part of the classical core curriculum, but this is not the like main core curriculum. This is just the enrichment guide. I talk more about this in my kindergarten curriculum video for this year. We've been loving this. So there's a book each week, and then there's a bunch of different things that you do with the book each week, and this has been a really sweet way to introduce more literature and more books, and it gives me some one-on-one reading time with her that's not bedtime reading, and it's not me doing our read aloud for the week, or, you know, like our family read aloud. So this has been really sweet. The books that have been chosen in here are really fun. I also have the accompanying, the art curriculum that goes with the enrichment guide, and it's been really sweet, and it's totally scripted and guided and tells you everything that you need to do, which is helpful for me, someone who does not enjoy art and does not like just know how to put things together or like thinks about the way to put things together. So these have been really great. All right, there's our homeschool update. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. I'm so sorry if it's forever. There's a lot to update on. So I have plans to do like a video showing our morning time. I also have plans to do the Logic of English video, and I have already recorded a video of me planning for the week. You guys, I think it's choppy and it's not great. So if you're still interested in seeing it, no matter what, let me know down in the comments below. It was more like a placement, and I didn't know how to place the camera and the tripod. I don't have one of those tripods that like clip onto the like a flat surface, so you're perpendicular to your writing surface. I haven't invested in one of those, so it's like off to the side but like diagonally. Anyway, let me know down below. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that one or not. If you guys have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to leave them down below. I am excited to kind of hop back into everybody else that I'm subscribed to and see what everyone's been up to. Let me know how your guys' fall has been down below where you guys live. I know there's like crazy weather everywhere right now in the United States. Yeah, I think everyone's kind of going through it right now. My husband has vacation coming up, so I am going to try to take advantage of really wrapping up a couple of things for YouTube so that I have some more content for you guys. I do have plans to share some pregnancy and baby things. This is not just a homeschool channel, so if those ones aren't for you, hopefully you can just skip past them, and I will get back to some more homeschool things then. Anyway, yeah, if anyone's interested in a baby bump picture, I'll show you guys right now too. I know not everyone cares, but if you are someone who would like to like not be part of that and leave right now, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. And for everybody else who wants to know, is this going to show in this video? This is my 7-month, well, I'm 26 weeks, no, I'm 27 weeks and a handful of days. So almost 28 weeks, almost 7 months. I carry pretty internally for the most first part of my pregnancy, and then the last 2 months of my pregnancy, and the same size as everybody else. So that's a fun 2 months of stretch. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video.